Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin here at Precision Mixed Martial Arts. I want to thank you so much for checking out our website. What we've got prepared for you is a video of some of the top UFC fighters that are training partners and friends of myself and some of the fighters here that we're fortunate enough to have them come here and show us some of their moves. And I just want to remind you that in addition to having this free video, you can also take advantage of our 30-day free trial. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 845-392-8495. And also at the end of this video, in addition to seeing the UFC submission secrets, we're also going to add a special section, the 5 must-know punches of boxing, taught by one of our boxing coaches here at Precision Mixed Martial Arts, Mr. John Russo. All right, guys, enjoy.
Now, same thing, something from half guard that I like to do a lot is, or this quarter guard, whatever you call it, is if I'm in here and I'm controlling the bicep, I'll slide down to the wrist when he starts sticking that elbow out, okay? I'm going to go attack from a Kimura here. All right, most guys, there are guys that really don't expect you to be able to finish a Kimura from bottom half guard. You can do it, but I just like the Kimura so much because I'm controlling this part of his body. Like, he's going to have, ideally, all of me right here, okay? So what I'll do is, I'll control the head. I'll control this space in here with my leg. This is mine. I'm not letting him dictate, how much space is in here. I'm going to control the bicep. This elbow starts to flare. I'll slide to the wrist. And as I do, I just punch over the head and come in here and lock up the Kimura, okay? Big thing with the Kimura, something that I tell everybody, is I want to control this right here. I want to control his elbow joint, all right? Because by controlling his elbow, I can move his shoulder, all right? I don't really care about the wrist right now. I don't care about the wrist until I get his shoulder perpendicular, then I can turn it. If his shoulder's not perpendicular, I start to turn it, I come into his body, and I just run into problems, all right? So I want this part right here. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm hunting for. All right? So I control this head, this elbow flared, pass by the head, lock up this Kimura. If I can cinch my wrist all the way up into his elbow, that's just the best. I don't really care about how far down his wrist my hand is. I don't need that much leverage. If I get his shoulder out, I don't need to be all the way down here. I can be cinched up and still finish the Kimura. Okay? I've tapped guys from here just by squeezing and doing a little elbow separator in there. So just when you're doing it, really just focus on this part of his body. I want this. Because even when he tucks it, I can sit here, and if this is nice and tight, he might try to lock his hands and curl it and stuff like that. But I'm just focusing on this elbow. I want this wrist nice and deep into the crook of his arm. Then I can just slowly just start popping, using this knee in across his belly to kind of keep his hips out and give myself some space. Boom, boom, pop it out. All right? You can come here and finish. Ideally, what I want to do, boom, I come here. As I start to turn this, he's usually going to come up and try to roll. When he does, I got to swing this leg out and come over top of his head. Okay? Now if he rolls, I'm in a good spot where I can start sinking this leg down and roll it over again. And again, just keeping this elbow tight and then turning the arm. Okay?
And this is the most effective move that I hit. Okay? Stepping up. Here. At this point, it needs to be tight. If I move, he moves. There's a rap song or something like that. If I move, you move. All right? That's what's going on here. If I'm pulling him back, if I'm going back, he's coming with me. And I'm using the gable grip here underneath. Okay? That's the grip I have. Here, hanging out, right here, pulling to my right hip, or whatever foot is up, pulling him with me, immediately, right there. Now, stay there. I'm pushing that way, pulling that way.
Finger, I'm sure some of you know what it is, but this is a move that Jim and I use a lot. It's kind of painful and it's enjoyable. So as we're in here, we're working the chin and in here. So the grip for the 10 finger is basically, I want to use my thumb, this bone right here, right in his Adam's apple, right in his throat. And you want to dig it as deep as possible into the bottom of the throat. And this is my grip in here. And I want this chest, or his head, right in the middle of my chest, right in here. So as I'm in here, we're fighting or whatever, I got it. I dig it in as deep as possible, all right? And as I come up into this position, I want to roll it forwards. I want to roll as, squeezing up and in, keeping his chest in the middle, but I want to also roll that forwards. As you push his esophagus forward, it hurts really bad.
Keep those elbows in.
Yeah, you want these elbows as tight as possible. Little, transverse arms. So we're in here, we're fighting, he's trying to get in. I, again, grab in here, grip is like this. Hit up here.
Not that quick.
And it's just taking this bone right here and rolling it forwards. All right? Keeping his head. So you want to keep those arms tight in here, right in here. All right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys get closer to see it, or I don't know if everybody can see it, but again, it's just in here. I go as deep as possible. I try to touch his chest, and here with the back of my thumb, and here, sitting up, and it's just in. Tight in.
You're rolling once you stay.
Once I sit up, there's other. You can do it from in here, and do it. But I like to get up in here. See how I'm keeping his chest. I'm kind of pushing my chest out in here, and it's just a roll. So again, his grip is here, using the bone right on his thing, right on his throat, in here, and just squeezing in here. And you're kind of sitting down into pushing his head. You want to push his head as far down as possible. In here. All right?
And this is my favorite. I come from this position. He thinks I'm going for a Kimura right away, so he maybe gets that other arm out and he reaches and he grabs his own arm. I'm going to come all the way through, knee real high. I don't care if he's grabbing his own arm, okay? Because I've got a lot of pressure. See how his back is up off the ground because of the pressure I had on him? If his back is on the ground, now this is going to give me a lot of trouble. If his back is up off the ground, and I keep it that way by pinching my knees and driving my foot in, my shin in, it's not going to give me trouble. All I'm going to do is I'm going to sit away, and then I'm going to sit towards his legs. I like to finish once the grip is already broken. I'll switch to this or one or the other, but I don't have to worry about that grip. So all the way through, we're here, okay? Put a lot of pressure, all right? Come up on the arm, hold, keep the pressure, step over the head. Boom. First one, sit up, switch the grip, bring the knees tight, sit on the head, up, turn. Second one, I'm here, boom, bring it up. I'm almost already putting pressure on his face. I'm almost closing this here, but I'm still keeping the pressure on the arm. And I love this one. This is my favorite one. He reaches to defend his arm, or he starts to control. I post, okay? Still controlling here. This leg comes all the way through. Look how it comes all the way through to his back. Make sure he can't get flat. And then it comes up. Turn. And then it comes up. So he's on his side. If he's on his side, I don't care what he holds on to. He's not keeping the grip. I fall onto his head. See how there's pressure on his head? He already wants to tap. Because you know what this also does is it puts a lot of strain on his shoulder. Okay? It's what makes him want to let go. And then if he doesn't tap for whatever reason at this point, come to the arm. We arch our hips. We know how to finish an arm bar. Alright guys? So try to control the shoulder a little bit. Tell your partner, just move. I don't want you to go crazy. I just want you to get comfortable with it. Put that pressure on the shoulder, and let's do those 2 submissions.
I'm John from Precision Mixed Martial Arts. We're going to go through some boxing techniques. First, we're going to go over the jab. Jab is your first basic boxing punch. Okay, it's a straight punch. Comes up with your least dominant hand. All right, comes out straight. Pivot at the very end. Comes straight back to the chin. Okay, you don't want to punch like this when you're jabbing. Okay, you don't want to start with your elbow out like this jabbing. Okay, comes here. Look straight off the hip, into the pad. Straight off the hip, into the pad. Okay, here, boom. Straight out, roll your shoulder, like this, you protect your chin, and you protect your chin this way. This way, if I'm throwing my jab, and he throws a punch while I'm throwing my jab, my hands are covered. If he throws a hook over my jab, my chin's still covered, okay? Jab, very simple, boom. Alright, next punch, we're gonna go over, it's a straight right, okay? It's a big punch, it's a power punch, alright? This punch, the jab you can move around with, you can pitter patter with a little bit. This punch you gotta sit on, or else you get no power, alright? So you're here, sit about an inch, comes up from the ground, the whole power comes from your arm, alright? Okay, so let your ass throw it. So you're here, you squat 2 inches, right? Launches right off your hip, launches right off the hip. Bam, just like that. Same principle as a jab, bump both hands up, okay? Squat, bam, and then straight back. Squat, bam, straight back. Don't do it at an angle, okay? Don't lean the weight into the punch like this, alright? It's not an arm punch, it's not an arm punch. Let the ass start, bam, and the straight back, bam, and straight back, okay? Still protected, still on the shoulders. Third punch, hook punch. A lot of people have a hard time throwing this punch, but it's same principle as the other one. Yeah, same principle. You want your ass to throw, your hips to throw it, right? You're here, you almost give your shoulder a little whiplash first, okay? A little whiplash, okay? It's not like a Rocky punch. You don't drop it down here, boom, okay? It's a really short punch. It's good for infighting, okay? Same thing, you sit, okay? Throw your hip first, hip, and then let your hip throw your arm, okay? Hip, whiplash, arm, and then straight back. Okay? My old coach would say, hand in the cookie jar, hand out of the cookie jar. Hand in the cookie jar, hand out, okay? Comes up from the floor, turns right over. The elbow flips over at the very end. The reason why the elbow flips over, because I'm trying to hit his chin and his hands are out, I gotta flip it over to get around that guard, okay? Here, gotta flip it over, alright? So here, and bang. Here, bang. Here, bang. Okay? The fourth and final punch, basic punch, is the rear uppercut, okay? Same principles, all the big power punches, it all comes from the hips. You sink about 2 inches, okay? Same thing, it launches right off your hip. Sink, let's do that. Sink, okay? Comes straight up like a corkscrew. Some big no-nos for the uppercut, is never drop your hand for the uppercut. You get knocked out when you do that, and when you throw your uppercut, never raise your chin when you throw an uppercut. Another knockout, okay? You're down, okay, you're responsible, you're down like a tank, pivot, you let your hip throw it, pivot up, straight back to the chin. Pivot up, straight back to the chin. Pivot up, straight back to the chin. If you're throwing it to the body, it comes a little bit like a shovel. So instead of going straight up, you throw it just like you were, it goes out. It goes out. You want the chin, straight up. Boom. Okay? No Mortal Kombats. You chin up. Okay? Don't drop the hand. Simple. You get lower than your opponent, bang, back. Alright, that's it for the basic punches of boxing. Thank you very much.